رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين ولعنة الله على أعدائه أجمعين من يومنا هذا إلا يوم الدين. صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Family members of the Prophet were the true friends and well-wishers of the people of Islam. They felt strong grief when they saw people in any kind of distress. They worked hard to restore the rights of the deprived and gave all their belongings to the needy. They were always ready to face hardships in order to save others, something we call sacrifice. Sometimes they would even give to the needy the food or clothing which they themselves urgently needed. There are many of such happenings that took place in the life of our religious leaders. For instance, once Imam Ali alayhi salam's children were sick. Their mother, daughter of the Prophet, vowed to fast 3 days on the recovery of her children in thanksgiving to Allah. Imam Ali alayhi salam and all the children joined Bibi Fatima in thanksgiving. All of them fasted. It was sunset, and they had only a few barley loaves of bread for their breakfast. As they were about to eat their food, someone knocked at their door, saying, "I am a poor man. Please give me some food." The food, which the whole family had, was very little. They gave it all to the poor man. Again on the next day, when the family wanted to break their fast, an orphan began knocking at the door asking for food. The same thing happened on the third day also with a stranger. Each time they gave their food to the needy, and they themselves remained hungry, continuing their fast. Salawat. Muslim commentators say the next day the Holy Prophet ﷺ came to the family with these verses of the Holy Quran. Surely the righteous shall drink of a cup the admixture of which it came forth, a fountain from which the servants of Allah shall drink. They make it to flow a goodly flowing forth. They fulfill vows and fear a day the evil of which shall be spreading far and wide. And they give food out of love for Allah to the poor and the orphan and the active. We only feed you for Allah's sake. We desire from you neither reward nor thanks. Surely we fear from our Allah a stern, distressful day. Therefore, Allah will guard them from the evil of that day and cause them to meet with ease and happiness, and reward them because they were patient with garden and silk. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
The part of the dua I have just recited in English and is called Surah Ad-Dahr, and it was written in the Holy Quran as praise of the sacrifice made by the Ahlul Bayt. Not only were the Ahlul Bayt generous, but they were also very pure and masoom. They never committed any sins and always thought of others before themselves, as you can see in the story I've just told you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the Ahlul Bayt in this world as a role model. He wants us to follow in their footsteps by performing salat, by always putting others before ourselves, and by giving to the poor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, "Verily, Allah has decreed to purify you, O Ahlul Bayt, and sanctify you in a perfect way." Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
The power of the Ahlul Bayt is phenomenal. Having faith in the Ahlul Bayt is the cause of several Islamic miracles. One of them is once a lady in Pakistan had dedicated her living room to the Ahlul Bayt. After her Ashura Majlis, she had put her alams away in a cupboard to use for her next Ashura Majlis. She left her living room to do something, and when she returned about half an hour later, 4 alams were laid out. They were the alams of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, Imam Hassan alayhi salam, Imam Ali alayhi salam, and Bibi Fatima. The Ahlul Bayt were present, and they had laid out the alams to show the Pakistani lady that they were there for her Majlis. The power of the Ahlul Bayt is amazing. The Ahlul Bayt have said many things about their position in Islam. They say we, the Ahlul Bayt, chosen descendants of the Holy Prophet, hold such central and balancing position in religion that those who are deficient in understanding and acting upon its principles will have to come to us for reformation, and those who are overdoing it will have to learn moderation from us. The Ahlul Bayt were so giving that they were able to sacrifice their lives to save Islam. They were able to go weeks without water. The bibis were able to bear the shame of having their chadars pulled off their heads. The imams were able to bear the pain of having rocks thrown at their heads. Of course, they wanted water, food, and freedom, but they were so strong that they could go through so much pain to save Islam and please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For my Masa'ib, I'll be reading a poem in dedication to Karbala. Remember the days of Karbala, when the best friends of Islam played their part. Mourn for the days of Karbala, cheering a cry from the heart. The only sound was the whispering wind, mixed with cries of thirst, of the friends and family of the matron saint on the eve of matron's first. As the red sky loomed over that tragic scene, the soldiers attacked without pity. In the name of God, they offered their lives and were accepted to the heavenly city. As the matrons lay on the bare hot earth, reflected in Zainab's eyes, alone she sat, a witness to death, and no one to hear her cries. Remember the days of Karbala, immortalize them, keep them apart. Mourn for the days of Karbala, and bleed with a cry from the heart.